let's start with Chelsea. It's already been a really busy summer at Stamford Bridge following the appointment of Xabi Alonso as the new Blues manager. They've already smashed the British transfer record by paying £117 million for Aston Villa and England-wide man Morgan Rogers. He's set to be joined by Crystal Palace defender Maxence Lacroix, a fee agreed between the two clubs in the region of £52 million. Lacroix, part of the French team that reached the semi-finals at the World Cup in North America, is to undergo a medical at Chelsea on Friday before putting pen to paper on a long-term deal expected to run until the summer of 2032. This is the experienced old head that Chelsea have wanted to bring in to support Alonso at the heart of his defence in his rebuild.
Hope all of you are well. There's news, there's things to go through, don't worry. And yes, we have the official confirmation, it is coming through on Maxence Lacroix. And yeah, obviously now we know it's done. We know it's been done for a little while. But that's all coming through now, and I'm about to show you exactly what's gone down. And I've also got an update for you in terms of Chelsea's midfield situation and what to look forward to going forward. And I'm going to clarify something, right? Very, very clearly. So make sure you stay till the end. Now, before we get cracking, let's just go straight into it. Here's latest from David Ornstein. Maxence Lacroix set for medical today before joining Chelsea from Crystal Palace. £52 million deal approx being finalised. 26-year-old centre-back to sign Chelsea contract until June 2032. Chibuke Nwaiwu among alternative Crystal Palace options to Krislan Matsima. That's already happening though. Matsima's already happening, it seems. So anyway, that's that. But Lacroix, we've also got the here we go, that eventually came today. Maxence Lacroix to Chelsea, here we go. Agreement in place with official bid accepted by Palace. Broad terms in place last night. A medical ongoing in London for the centre-back. £52 million transfer fee. Axel Disasi not included in the deal. Lacroix signs until June 2032. So he's in. Happy days. It was in the bag. Some might say. But listen, I'm really happy with this deal. I'm really, really happy with this deal. 26-year-old, Maxence Lacroix, 52 million. I think that's a bargain. Well, not a bargain, but I mean, in today's inflated market for everyone, I know the inflated market is mainly the midfielders, but still. I feel this is a fantastic deal for a defender that is well sought after, who I think's got the whole package to be able to bring us stability and bring us proper levels in that back line. Now, he's going to be partnering Levi Colwill, pretty much. That's if we play in a back four. Now, if we play in a back five or / back three central defenders, then you could say that Lacroix is going to become the central centre-back, whilst he'll have Colwill on his left-hand side and he will have whoever on his right-hand side. We're yet to find out exactly what that's going to look like. You know, it could be a new defender coming in. It could be a Stones. It could be, well, I mean, no, Stones isn't going to play much, if we're being completely honest, if he does show up. Reece James. I don't expect Fofana. I'll tell you this now. I don't expect Fofana. We'll see what happens with him later on in the window. But I think this is a great, great signing. Now, I'm not sure his salary. I don't know what he's on yet. If I find out, I'll let you know. But we've got him through the door. And this has been the most sought-after position for a while. We've needed a top central defender, and he's here. So Maxence Lacroix, welcome to Chelsea. Could not be happier with this, to be honest. So happy, happy days. Yeah, it was no doubt. It was no doubt. For the last 3 days, it's been no doubt that Lacroix is done. Medical ongoing, what Fabrizio said, correct, right? So that started already, about to finish, and that's going to be a contract signing after, and then we'll get the official unveiling from Chelsea. Where that's going to be today, tomorrow, one of them, surely, right? So let's see. But let me know your thoughts down below on Lacroix to Chelsea. I feel like with who's available and who could be sought after, and the profile of the player that's required, I don't think we can get much better than Lacroix. I don't feel like we can. So, yeah. Let's see what's going to happen. So let me know your thoughts on that. But welcome to Chelsea. Welcome to Chelsea to Lacroix. Let's go to a player that's looking like he's going to be heading off. And we've kind of known this for a while, but we've not really heard much until now. So here's Fabrizio on the latest with Chalobah. Como sent improved bid to Chelsea for Trevoh Chalobah. Talks ongoing. Como offer 25 million euros, fixed fee, and 5 million euro add-ons, but easy ones to reach, making package worth 30 million euros almost guaranteed. Chalobah, keen on Como move. I've got to be honest, that fee for me is a little bit low, right? It's a little bit low. So, but I'm not gonna say, oh my God, don't do it. No, I'm not going to do that. Right? I'm not going to do that. What I am going to say is, like I said at the start of all of this, if you remember, get the players gone for what we can get for them. End of story, right? Just bring, well, not bring. In order for us to bring players in, get the outgoings done and without hesitation. So, let's see what's going to happen with Chalobah. But again, like I've said in the past few days, I'll be happy if he goes to Como. I think that will suit him. There was, I saw, who was it? There was an Instagram story, I think, or a post from someone in Como, and Trev liked it. Trev interacted with it. So that happened yesterday. I didn't keep like who it was from or whatnot, but I did come across that. I think he wants Como as well, which would be great for him. Like, so I'd be happy if this move's happened for him, and let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on that one. But Trev looking like he's on the brink of leaving, and yeah, if we can get around, I'd say 30 mil, then take it. Just take it, and don't haggle. We need the outgoings done, especially now Lacroix in, and we'll see what else is going to happen. Now, Bruno Guimarães. Let's go into what we've heard today on the socials, right? What the latest news is, and then I'll explain. Here it is. Chelsea are not expected to enter the race for Bruno Guimarães, or for Newcastle Bruno Guimarães. No approach or bid has been made. Right. Let me be completely straight up, okay? And let me be completely clear. To say that Chelsea have not even been in the room is disingenuous, right? That's not true. From what I understand, that's not true. However, is what we're hearing now legit? It's a briefing. Does this mean that Bruno to Arsenal is not going to happen? No. Let me be frank and let me make it clear, right? Arsenal have the control here. They have the keys, but they've not picked up the keys. This is the whole problem. The whole thing is that they've not been willing to go over a certain number. That's their whole issue. This is the whole hold-up. If not, Bruno to Arsenal would have already happened. Because of the hesitancy, like it was witnessed with Morgan Rogers, Chelsea are there. Simple. Now, let me give you an example of where this has happened before. Not in so much of the case of a team's just not willing to pay and we're just waiting around, but where we've been told one thing and then the opposite has happened. Here it is. Do you remember this? In late May, when Newcastle and Liverpool have both shown an interest in Brighton striker João Pedro, Chelsea have not held any talks and are not exploring a deal, said Ben Jacobs, right? Pedro could leave this summer, but Brighton will be looking to make a big profit on then club record £30 million they paid Watford. What happened? I'm actually glad that we're hearing what we're hearing, right? I say glad, I'm kind of not, right? Because I don't like briefings. I don't like PR. This is why. This is why I've gone in and I'm going to try and find out for myself. However, here's exactly, like I mentioned yesterday in the priority. If Arsenal put more money on the table, it gets done. It gets done. Bruno wants Arsenal. The whole hold-up is Bruno waiting for Arsenal. Arsenal have not...
We told you it was a busy day, and it certainly is. Developments at Chelsea. James Savundra is back. What can you tell us?
Chelsea have been looking to sign a centre-back in this transfer window, and they're close to agreeing a deal with Crystal Palace to sign Maxence Lacroix. Now, the two clubs have been in talks for the last few days around a permanent move for the France international who played in that World Cup semi-final last week against Spain. Now, we understand that Palace were looking for a fee of more than £55 million. They were using the Jean-Paul Van Hecke transfer fee as a bit of a guideline in terms of what they'd be looking for. Van Hecke had 1 year left in his contract. Spurs paid Brighton £55 million. Lacroix still has 3 years left in his contract. So Crystal Palace went into this transfer window in a really, really good place. Now, Palace and Chelsea enjoy really good relationships. They've done plenty of deals over the course of the last few transfer windows. But Xabi Alonso has entered the club this summer as a manager rather than head coach, and he's made it clear he wants to sign a centre-back in this transfer window. And Lacroix was one of several targets they were looking at in this transfer window. He's 26 years of age. We know Chelsea want to sign players with a bit more experience, players that are ready to make their mark in the Premier League. And Lacroix has had 2 really solid seasons at Crystal Palace, seasons which have seen him enter the France territory, becoming a French international. And we saw him part of that World Cup squad with France. We saw him win the Conference League with Crystal Palace last season.
At the other end of the spectrum, they are looking at Kerim Alijbegovic, a Bosnian international, a winger currently plying his trade at Bayer Leverkusen. Nothing agreed here yet, but talks underway. So it's promising to be another busy few weeks for Blueco, and that big spending since Todd Bowley and Beded Egbali took over at Stamford Bridge shows no sign of coming to an end. What does that mean for Crystal Palace then in terms of replacing Lacroix? Well, first and foremost, sources there telling me they're very happy with the fee they've managed to negotiate for the French international. One potential replacement is Christian Matsima. He plays for Augsburg over in the Bundesliga, but at the moment the two clubs are a long way apart in terms of their valuation. So Palace are looking elsewhere. Charlie Cresswell, an England under-21 international currently playing over in France for Toulouse, is one possible option. They were offered Axel Disasi from Chelsea as part of those conversations around Lacroix. Doesn't look like that will be happening at the moment, but I would expect Palace to sign a couple of centre-backs in order to compensate for the loss of their FA Cup and Conference League winning centre-back. Newcastle have made a signing in the past few hours as well. Alaji Bamba, a 20-year-old midfielder from Monaco, has arrived in a €40 million transfer. I think he's deemed as a replacement for Sandro Tonali following his £100 million move from St James's Park to Tottenham. It does raise fresh question marks, though, over the future of Magpie skipper Bruno Guimarães. That interest from Arsenal is not going away if they haven't yet submitted a formal bid to Newcastle. That is certainly imminent. Our sources at TalkSport telling us it will be worth in excess of £70 million. Will that be enough to persuade Newcastle to part with the Brazilian international? The message coming out of St James's Park is very much he isn't for sale, but they did say that about Alexander Isak this time last year. And of course, eventually he ended up at Liverpool in what was a then British record fee. One team who've been very quiet in the window so far at Liverpool, despite the fact they've lost a couple of key players this window in Mo Salah and Ibrahima Konate, who of course have both left the club on free transfers. It's no secret they want a new wide player. They were quite keen on Yan Diamonde, the Ivory Coast international who did so well at Leipzig last season, but his asking price at the moment is deemed too high. He could yet end up at Paris Saint-Germain. If he does, keep an eye on Bradley Barcola. PSG may well then be open to offers for him. Liverpool and Arsenal both have the French international very much on their radar. And on the subject of Liverpool, earlier today, Dean Saunders, Reds legend, of course, shared his concerns over the lack of recruitment so far.
Incredible if they got Barcola.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible signing.
Well, they lost 9 players who would all get a game now from last season. 9, including the goalkeeper. Andy Robertson's gone.
Salah, obviously.
Salah's gone. And Konate's gone.
Yeah.
3 world-class players there, in my opinion. Gone. Hard to replace.
Yeah.
So they needed players from last year.
We have still got a month, though, until the first.
I think they need 7 or 8 players.
But yeah, they're working. They're working on it. And one final one before I leave you. No secret that Christian Romero is looking to leave Tottenham this summer. Interest from Barcelona and Inter Milan. It's our understanding at TalkSport. Inter have now opened talks over a move for the Argentine international. Tottenham have got defensive reinforcements in already in Marcus Senesi and Jan-Paul van Hecke, the £52 million signing from Brighton. So I think all parties now will focus on an exit for Romero. I wonder how he's going to be remembered by Tottenham fans. Part of their Europa League winning team. but also as much for his yellow and red cards, I would imagine. Moving on to Manchester United, 2 midfielders already signed on the dotted line at Old Trafford. Andre Santos arriving from Chelsea, Yuri Tillemans from Aston Villa in a bargain £35 million deal. They triggered the release clause in the Belgians' contract. They're still looking to add at least one more body in that midfield area. Casemiro has moved on to Inter Miami on a free transfer. Manuel Ugarte is going to miss the bulk of the season. They wanted to sell him anyway. Lots of names in the frame, including Aurelien Tchouameni. Noises coming out of Spain that maybe Real Madrid are willing to do business, but at the moment that doesn't seem particularly hot when it comes to Manchester United. They've been linked with Eduardo Camavinga as well, his Real Madrid teammate as of Chelsea. We know there's still interest in Carlos Baleba. Keep an eye on Manu Kone, bit of an unsung hero for France at the World Cup. He seems to have all the attributes that United are looking for to supplement that midfield, and certainly there is interest in him from Michael Carrick's side. Might not develop quickly. I think United are content to sit and wait, let the market unfold, and hope that maybe the asking price for some of those targets comes down over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I know you're both Man United fans, right? And I think most of the work's been done now. They've bottomed out. They've got rid of all the bad attitudes.
Up, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they've got rid of the bad attitudes. I still think there's 4 or 5 players who are not good enough to play for Man United at the club, but
only 4 or 5.
Yeah, bringing the players in now with a good attitude. Number one, priority. Let's make sure we got a team that goes on the pitch that gets a 7 out of 10. Not a team that can get beat 5-0 or win 5-0. And I think half the work's been done. They bottomed out. They're on the way up.
And I think that was the key with Mateus Fernandes as well. They walked away from that deal, obviously went to Tottenham for 85 million, A, because they thought the price was a bit excessive, but B, they never really got the impression the player was fully invested in the project. And I think they only want people who want to play for Manchester United. You look at Mateus Cunha and Brian Mbumo last summer. They had offers from elsewhere, could have been playing Champions League football. They both made it abundantly clear from the start they wanted this move to Old Trafford, and that's the type of character you want in the dressing room. And on the subject of Manchester United, still lots of conjecture about the future of one Marcus Rashford. He's off on a post-World Cup holiday, having played for England in North America. Not going to get the dream move to Barcelona now. They've signed a couple of players, including Anthony Gordon, blocking that pathway to the camp now. The plan at the moment is that he will return for the start of pre-season training at Carrington at least. But £325,000 a week. United keen, I'm told, to get Rashford off the payroll. He's keen to leave as well. There is interest from Fenerbahce. I reported that earlier this week, but it doesn't look like Rashford wants to make that move. I've just got this nagging thought in the back of my mind that Tottenham and Roberto De Zerbi could yet offer Rashford an exit from Old Trafford.